Welcome to our presentation, Innovation by Design, turning human insights into scalable solutions step by step. What exactly it is? Innovation, we all understand, inventing something, and largely we know that today we all enjoying the latest version of mobile. That's a byproduct of innovation. Yeah. We travel much more comfortably today than several generations ago because of transportation innovations. So we do understand innovation, and we also know who does the innovation. If I ask you who does the innovation, you of course, it depends upon product to product. If it is a transportation, then the transportation designers. So this much is clear for all of us that there is constant innovation in every sphere. Henceforth, we have a new products and services in most of the field. And in a day in, day out, we are using those products and getting benefited by it. So now in this presentation, we are going to go deep into how or what are the steps generally in the industry we follow to provide solutions, come up with new products. Yeah. So here you see turning human insight. So what exactly that means? You understand human needs, then convert them into new product or service. For example, we all want to travel much more easily, in the sense comfortably, safely. We want to book car easily without much hassles. So that's the reason Uber invented Uber app. Through Uber app, with convenience, you can book your car without interacting with the person. Yeah. So we all order grocery in 10 minutes. Again, sometime people need something very urgently, like milk, eggs. So 10 minutes urgency will fulfill that. Sometime you got hurt or some band-aid you need, some kind of burn, you burned your hand and now you need some kind of a cream. So you can order in a 10 minutes, it'll come and you can use it. So anyway, we all consumers, we are experiencing it, how brands are or companies are using our needs, understanding our needs and creating solutions. So it's all about turning human insights into a scalable solution means they are coming up with products which are helping us to solve our problem. How do we understand innovation? What is innovation? That is a bit of a definition we're going to understand here. The first and foremost, a problem solving method is called design thinking. Yeah. So, as I said, step by step methodology, which I'm going to share with you, the name of that methodology is design thinking. So, what exactly design thinking means in simple word? Here you can see you have a problem, okay? In the sense, as a consumer, you're facing a problem. Now, as an innovator, you apply innovative thinking on that problem that leads to solution. Yeah. Remember that 3 decades ago, there were no mobile phones. So somebody thought about we need to talk sometime. Every individual's having their own phone number is a critical because we are not all the time at home. We can't be relying on landline. So we have to have a mobile phone. So the mobile phone innovation happened. The problem with the landline, you all know that if it is a fixed, you have to be around there to access calls. But if it is a mobile, you can take it with you. So the problem was a fixed, so they solved it by liberating it making it non-fixed. Now you can carry it wherever you want. So generally, we innovators, or you guys, once you are into the industry, you will be solving problems. So you need to first understand the problem, apply your thinking, and solve it. Understand the problem, apply your thinking, solve it. Understand the problem, apply your thinking, solve the problem. I'm just repeating it as a mantra so that you remember. This is the fundamental of design thinking: identifying problem, applying thinking, solving it. Okay, let's go ahead and look into other part of it. Before we jump into further, let me introduce myself. My name is Dharam Mentor. This is my mantra: good design thinking is good business. As we discussed, design thinking is an innovation tool. The word design thinking means innovate solutions. So if you have a good solution, that become a good business. How do we understand this? Today we all appreciate Apple as a good company because they have a good innovative products. Nike has got a good innovative shoes, therefore they are making a lot of money in their business. So good design, good innovation is good business. Nike is a good business. Almost like 10, 15 years for that matter, Mahindra and Mahindra is coming up with nice designed cars. So they are designing well. So therefore they're doing good business. So you see that connection between if you have a good product, good design, you will be having a good business. So the good design is a good business. It's a complementing. So that's my mantra. And my name is Dharam Mentor, which you already know. I worked in all over India, New Delhi, Bangalore, Mumbai, and I worked internationally, New York and London. So I worked in India as well as abroad. So I have a 25 years of vast experience working in advertising, branding, design, strategy, consulting. So that's the my career journey. And when you work for 25 years in the industry, you end up working with all the top companies. I worked for Hershey's, Godrej, Unilever, PepsiCo, Kellogg, Nestle, Amul, Marico, yeah, Coca-Cola, 3M, Mahindra. So just name it. You end up working with almost all the companies. As I said, my journey started with advertising agency. I worked 8 years in advertising. Then I moved to design company. I worked 5 more years in design company. From there, I moved to strategic company. I worked for 5 more years in strategic company. From there, I moved to brand consulting and mentoring organizations and individuals. So that's my career journey. I did my master's from University of the Arts London. It's a college in London. I did my postgraduates from the same college. So I do have education in design management, design for visual communication, and branding. So that's a brief about me. Let's come back to our discussion. Yeah. Our discussion, we already many times repeated problem. You apply thinking on the problem and you come up with solution. Problem, thinking, solution. Problem, thinking, solution. Let's go ahead. I don't want to bore you guys. So look at this image. Can you see problem here? Yes, of course. I can see problem here. Not only I can see problem, I myself undergone this problem. You know, the glass bottle of ketchup, it is always difficult to take out ketchup from the bottle. So whenever you want to take out, it's a huge struggle. Sometimes we tap from the behind the bottle and it doesn't fall on the bread, but it will fall in everywhere. So here is a huge problem, isn't it? So further, we try to understand that problem. So I think this problem do exist. Somebody is using a spoon, not a spoon, it's a pen, I believe. to take out the ketchup. Here again, people are struggling. Somebody is having a lot of patience. Here, somebody hitting on the in the front end to take out. So it clearly shows here once again, you can see how this person is trying to. Somebody create an instruction manual, where you can hit so that you can take out ketchup easily. Got the point? Problem do exist, and it is a universal problem, and everybody facing this problem. Now, how do you solve this problem? Now you have to apply your thinking to solve this problem. Problem we identified, glass bottle. Issue is taking out ketchup. Already found the solution for this. I'll show you that solution. Look at the solution. Yeah? Take a deep look at it. First thing, they changed the structure. Yeah? The second is the material. The earlier one was glass bottle. This new structure, the new solution is made out of plastic bottle. Yeah, this bottle is in plastic, not in a glass. The third, if you look at, they kept it upside down. The cap become the bottom. Now, here you can see in the bottom, this bottle it's plastic, so you can squeeze it. It is a flexible, you can squeeze it, and you can put it on the bread wherever you want and whatever quantity you want, which wasn't possible before. Look at mess, the problem versus solution, problem versus solution, problem versus solution. Got the point? So a designer innovated solution, understanding the problem what people were facing by changing the structure, changing the material, and changing even the orientation. 3 changes provided the solution. Got the point? So this is how we create solutions. First, we understand what is the problem peoples are facing, and then we apply our thinking, our creative thinking cap, and come up with solution. So there is a method. We don't directly jump into the solution. There is a step-by-step method. That is what I'm going to share with you today. This is a 5-step methodology. So that's what we're going to look into it. The 5 stages of design thinking. How do we approach? The first stage is empathy. So what exactly empathy is? It's all about research. You try to understand what people are facing problem. So you empathize with them, you understand them, you take interview, ask question, what is the problem they are facing? Next is define. So once you understood the problem, you try to define what is that area or specific thing you want to solve. So once we identified that taking out ketchup is the problem, we did not change the product itself, but we changed the bottle. People like the ketchup and people like the thick ketchup. You should not change that. But people were finding difficult to take out from glass bottle. So the change is supposed to happen in the structure, in the bottle. So that is what we decided. We will bring innovation in the bottle, not in the product. Yeah. Once you identify that the change supposed to be in the structure, then you start ideating, you start exploring ideas. So we explored ideas of making the structure thicker in plastic, and you turn it around. That's the idea we came up with. And from there, the 4th stage is prototyping. Once you have an idea, you have to create a dummy or prototype. Once you have a prototype, you go and test that prototype with the customers in this case. You ask the question to the customers. Customers will give a feedback whether they are liking it, whether it is a better than earlier one. Yeah. So the 5 steps you can clearly see. The first step is empathize, understanding what problem consumers are facing. Then you define what is that problem you want to solve. Then you come up with idea, you create a prototype, and you test with the real customers. Got the point? Yes. So those are the 5 stages which we extensively use when we are innovating. This is what step by step approaching the solution.